Desde los callejones ruidosos de Nueva York hasta las playas de Cancún, ella solo quería un descanso. Pero entre juntas, correos y responsabilidades, prepararse para una despedida de soltera se vuelve una misión casi imposible. ¿Logrará empacar sus sueños sin perder la cabeza? ¿O será el drama quien la acompañe al aeropuerto? Esta es Despedida de Soltera con Adelle, la más perra.
I'm putting this as part of the vlog, but I just got in a bunch of stuff. I'll be doing like a whole little vlog later so that everyone can see all the stuff that I got, because girl, it's been a bit of a challenge, okay? They said tequila sunrise. The gag is I don't have any of those colors in my closet naturally. Like, I don't even have yellow, orange, and barely any pink. And my favorite color is pink, which is like so interesting. But honestly, guys, like, it's been a little bit of a struggle, okay? Because like, where are all my neutrals? Where are all my baseline colors? I will be wearing a select number of neutrals, like blue, brown, and maybe some black. But, you know, like, I love a good theme, guys. I love a good theme. So obviously I won't show it because it's just this little explicit, right? But right now I'm wearing a bikini. And okay, like, I've had my eye on this bikini for a hot minute because my friend wore it last year. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Sorry, my contact is really fucking dry. But anyways, wearing the bikini right now, tried it on. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and like my frontal lobe is just really developing. But you're gonna have to put me in a little wetsuit, okay? Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to go out to the beach right now with the I said mind you, I got the size that what I thought was correct for me, right? It's just when you have so much real estate to cover, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm not blessed for what I have been naturally given. It's just like, baby girl, like, I'm almost 25, okay? Like, I'm 24 right now. What the fuck? I don't know how I feel anymore about going to the beach with my whole ass out, you know what I mean? And like, maybe it's because all of my older cousins are there and they basically like raised me, question mark, and potentially these photos will land on Facebook where my parents will be. I'm like, oh, guys, we have to find a little cover up or something. Gotta keep it modest, gotta keep it cute, gotta keep it Catholic, like, I don't know. I turned around, I thought, oh, who did it again? Like, I surprised even my own self, if you will. But like, bitch, I have a whole career. I have a whole digital footprint. Like, what? I can't go out to the fucking beach anymore with my whole ass out. Like, what if somebody puts me on TikTok and it's like, oh my god, this girl in Mexico had like the biggest shiny, whatever. Like, I just can't risk that. You know, it's just too much. What is up, everybody? It's March 15th, Saturday. I do have like a bunch of things to do today, so I actually have to hurry up. But right now I'm doing I'm doing an inventory of all of the things that I have currently. So this right here is like a toiletry sort of case that I have. It's like a bunch of different things that I've collected over the years. So I'm like, before I even make a pit stop today, my hair is looking a little bit crazy, but before I make a pit stop today at, you know, the store, I really want to make sure that I have everything so I don't have to like overbuy on certain things. So just realized that I still have conditioner, lotion, shampoo, 2 spray bottles, and like little containers of things. Ooh, I also have body wash too. What the hell? Hold up. Okay. I didn't know I collected this much stuff. What the frick? What the sigma? But anyways, I have a bunch of things to do, so I'll take y'all on a little journey of me doing my errands. So I have to hit up a couple of stores today. I know I have to go to CVS and Sephora. Randomly, I also have to go to L'Occitane because my boss just recently gave birth and her birthday passed. I'm like, oh fuck, we have to get her something. So we have to get her something, and then I have to go to the store to get some toiletries. There are a lot of stops that I have to make today. Honestly, going through my own inventory is pretty helpful. Like, I'm like, why didn't I look at this stuff sooner? Because honestly, I was about to go to Sephora today to grab like extra face masks because I'm like, ooh, I want to take care of my skin before I leave, because y'all can't see it right now, but I'm breaking out a little bit. I've been a little bit stressed, a little bit tired lately, but luckily I've been going through my stuff and I realized I have all these freaking masks, guys. Like, that's why you gotta do your own little inventory before you leave. But I will catch y'all when I'm on my errands today. Wish me luck. So we saw a couple apartments today. I was a little bit preoccupied because obviously I needed to check out the space. The apartments were okay. I feel like the listing that I saw, the second one, was probably my favorite. The only downside is there's only one bathroom. It's on the 7th floor, and then the living room is small. So that's the reality of like apartment hunting in New York. It's a whole thing. So now I'm walking to 125th because I need to hit up a couple places. I don't think I'm gonna go downtown because girl, that's a whole lot of work. But we're definitely hitting up a couple spaces, so join along. Okay, so I'm testing out this tripod that I got. I don't think I really like it because I feel like it's a little bit flimsy, but whatever. Anyway, so I just got back from literally doing so much financial damage. Like, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. But you know, regardless, I will be using the stuff this summer for sure. Like, I know I'm gonna be prepped for summer, so that's fine. But basically I had run so many different errands. Like, literally I was just walking all around town. Basically what I had done is me and my roommate, we were touring an apartment and we saw like about 2 different listings, and then took a little break, went back, saw 2 other listings, and then I walked, I think about like 20 blocks down to 125th because we were about at like 140th. So it's been a long day. I had to take a little bit of a nap because I was just feeling really tired. But basically I got to Sephora, right? And my aim for going to Sephora was really to get something for my boss. I did get something for myself, but really that was it. I just wanted to get something for my boss for her birthday, as well as she recently just had a baby, right? So we're putting together a little self-care kit at work. So basically what had happened was I walked into Sephora, looked around, went to the skincare section because that's where I really wanted to be. And there was this woman who walked up to me. She's like, you know, how are you? How can I help you? A lot of people were really nice when I went into Sephora. I will give them that. And this woman actually, she was really nice. I just think the way that she went about her intention of helping me was a little bit presumptuous and just a little bit, I wouldn't say patronizing or condescending, but it's like, So basically what I did was I asked the lady, oh, do you have L'Occitane? Because I personally really like to get L'Occitane. It's like an affordable luxury, and I love all their body care stuff and their perfume, especially. Like, I get it every single year for my birthday. So they didn't have it. So I turned around. She said, no, that, you know, we don't have it. You might want to look a little bit more. So I was like, okay. Looked around, ultimately ended up getting some eye patches from Topicals and a body butter from Fenty Skin. So I turn around, right, trying to look for other things to get for my boss. She tapped me on the shoulder. I'm over here thinking, oh, you know, maybe she actually found what I was looking for. Tell me why this woman, and mind you, I did not express any interest of getting anything skin related. It was really just like, look, I'm looking for this specific brand. I don't need help with anything else, right? So she comes up to me and she's like, you know, babe, I don't know if you need this, but, you know, based off of your skin condition, I think you might want to use this. And mind you, it was like an acne product. So here's the thing. She obviously didn't know this, right? Because like I just met this woman, but I've had acne for almost my entire life. Ever since I was 12, I can remember having breakouts all the time. Granted, I know for me personally, I'm a very lazy person. Sometimes I struggle with doing my skincare routine on a consistent basis, but I know that my skin isn't perfect, okay? I know my skin isn't perfect. You don't need to tell that to me because I already get that shit from my parents. Mind you, I'm 24, so I've done a lot of work to not get super triggered by it, and luckily a lot of the people in my life have never been dicks about it. Like, nobody's ever told me, Adele, you literally look like fucking pepperoni pizza. I'm like, Nobody's ever said that, right? Because all of my, like, nobody's ever said that to my face, let alone a stranger. So I turn around, she gives me this acne product, and when I look down on it, I'm trying to process like what's going on in my head right now. She gives me this product. It's like a Peter Thomas Roth acne serum, and I kid you not, the before and after that was on the product, it had somebody with like intense, almost like cystic, inflamed acne. And after using the product, like their skin was looking a lot less inflamed, a lot less irritated. Mind you, my skin isn't perfect right now, but I will say that this is arguably the best my skin has ever looked in a hot minute. And I've had skin like acne problems worse, okay, worse. Even in COVID, my skin was like terrible, right? Because I wore masks all the time and I was like, freaking depressed. I just think the way she went about it was just very presumptuous, to the point where it's like, why, like, of all the ways that you could go about this, why would you go about it in this way? I am all for helping people find things that they fall in love with, especially because I also work for a beauty brand too. I would never walk up to somebody who very evidently has traction alopecia and is like, girl, you have so many bald spots around your hairline, I should give you X, Y, and Z product. Because the way you should go about it is, hey, what are some of your struggles? Are you interested in looking for something for yourself? Like, I want you to tell me what your struggles are instead of me assuming that. Because if I say something and I talk out of my ass, that could be perceived very wrong, okay? Very, very wrong. First of all, like, I wasn't even asking for an acne product. And secondly, you're dragging it like, baby girl. I don't know if it was because my face was looking a little bit red because I was walking 20 blocks, but like, baby girl, that is not the way you go about giving a product recommendation. It's, do you want help? If not, I'll leave you alone. I don't know what the commission is looking like at Sephora. Like, if you help somebody, you might get extra commission, but I'm like, baby girl, like, the pursuit of getting commission for making a sale is not that deep. Like, trust and believe, it should never be that deep. Okay to not need assistance from somebody, especially if, like, I wasn't even looking for an acne product in the first place. I never had a conversation being with like, oh my god, my skin is just terrible, it's so inflamed. Like, baby girl, like, come on. Like, that whole entire experience, I was literally about to cry. It was just a very triggering experience. And I know that, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make a big deal. For me, it's just a very triggering experience, considering that I've struggled with acne in my entire life. And like, I know my parents mean well, but like, they always tend to point out things like my acne, like my weight. So for me, I really had to take a deep breath so I didn't cry, because I was like, oof, this is really taking me back to when I was like 15, 16, and I would break out all the time, and they'd be like, oh, we need to take you to the dermatologist, you need Proactive, blah, blah, blah. It's like, good bitch, stop it. Just stop. So I'm like, thank you, but no thank you, mamacita. Like, just not today, okay? Not today. And the fucking hair, bitch. Don't mind the fucking hair. I just feel like sometimes when I have so much shit to do, like especially before a vacation or just whatever the case may be, I just get so isolated in all of like my anxiety that I just put off actually having to start any of this stuff. But if there's anything that I've learned from TikTok University, is the remedy for anxiety is action. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. I swear to God. I feel like, as somebody who lives in her head all the fucking time, like, if I hate loud ass fucking cars. Like, bitch, I just hate a loud ass car. Like, why can't you just be petite in the mirror, like a little, RAV4 or a Toyota Corolla? Like, why do you have to be so loud? I live in my head a lot, so I feel like I always just kind of sit on my anxiety and sit on what I want to do as opposed to actually doing it. But I think it's really just the stress that gets me when it comes to cleaning all of this. Because, guys, like, I'm gonna let y'all in on some tea. Like, I am not a very... Okay, my room was pretty clean this week. Of course, I feel like I've just been piling up a lot of purchases this past week because of the vacation. But it's gonna get clean. I just took an edible, so I feel like it's a game for me now of like, how long do I have to wait for this edible to kick in? I'd say I took 75% of the edible, so we'll see. I don't know what that edible did. I don't know what that edible did, but maybe she just pressured me a little bit more to like really clean my room. But we made some headway, okay? So it's looking like slightly less messy. Honestly, what I like to do whenever it comes to cleaning is just put shit in piles. I feel like it just organizes things so I can kind of like segment the mess and then just work from there. That's honestly how I wash dishes. Yeah, it's like, it's really good when I align the days that I need to wash my laundry when I like clean my room, because I find that, I don't know, I find that like just making a pile of dirty clothes cleans up a lot of mess. Now, the big mess that we really have to address is my closet right there, because I don't know, she's just always so prone to getting super messy. I do have to organize things still, but I will say that putting the piles together and just really listening to music honestly helps me so much when it comes to cleaning my room. It is the next day. I actually knocked the fuck out of just cleaning my room for about 10 minutes. But as you can see, my room is a little bit more tidy. I know it doesn't look like much, but I promise you, put a lot of clothes away, threw out a lot of things, and I organized things as well. I am putting 2 big piles together for this vacation just so that packing is a lot easier. Today is really going to be like a beauty prep sort of day, so I'm gonna wax my eyebrows. Finally, I'm gonna wax my eyebrows, wax my armpits, maybe even do a little bit of a Brazilian. Oh, I'm scared. Because there was only one time it wasn't a full-on Brazilian, right? Because I acknowledge my limits, but I did do it last time. It definitely hurt. The first strip that I put down, I was like, oh, we're in for a doozy. Like, it was just a little bit too crazy. Like, I really I overstepped when I first waxed my hoo-ha. Guy, it was a lot. I'll be doing a little bit of a Brazilian today because I don't know, like, you know, like, it's a vibe. I don't know, you know, like, I don't know how else to describe it other than that's just the vibe we're gonna go for this vacation. I also have to take a shower. Bro, there's so much that I have to do, like, I can't even explain. But I'm really excited because I'm also going to be doing my nails tonight. I'm going to be doing mani-pedi, God willing, because whenever, like, if you've ever done your nails before, especially if it's like gel or even acrylic takes so much longer, that you're asking for about like several hours worth of work. So I really want to speed through the rest of the shit that I have to get done today. Worst case scenario, I can always do my manicure on Tuesday. No, excuse me, not my manicure, my pedicure on Tuesday, because pedicures usually don't take as long. But I definitely want to get my nails and waxing done today, so I don't have to worry about it when I pack. But I'm officially done with cleaning my room for the most part. The only like mess that you see are just the 2 piles right over there of all the stuff that I'm packing for this vacation. But luckily everything's all nice and put away and it's organized. I even like did my laundry and folded it in the same day. Like, what can I say? I don't think. So right now I have my wax just warming up in the little warmer that I have right here. Got this off of Amazon. Always educate yourself if you're gonna do something on your own, especially if it's something that typically a professional does, like dyeing your hair, toning your hair, doing your own nails, doing your own wax. Like, I believe all of those are doable. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to do them on the level of expertise as a professional, but I do think that they are doable. I've been waxing since about 2023. I think I was inspired by Monet McMichael. But anyways, I really wanted to get into some body care because right now I'm currently waiting on my wax to just cool down a little bit. I usually like to put it at a higher temperature so that it can melt really fast, and then I like to give it some time to cool down so it's not too runny and it's not too hot and it's not going to burn my skin. So let's get into some body care, because obviously in the summer I feel like, you know, our skin is a lot more exposed. We want to make sure that we don't look ashy or crispy. So these are things that that I like to do in order to take care of my body and take care of my skin. Now, my body skin, like this, has always been very, very smooth. Like that's low-key a little bit of a flex, not to brag, guys, but I've always had pretty smooth skin, so I'm very, very thankful for that. I will say though that I do struggle with eczema every now and then. You know, like especially around the folds of my skin. I had like really bad ringworm in the past, so trust and believe, like I've had my fair share of skin issues, but these are things that I personally like to do in order to make sure that I'm taking care of my skin, because as we all know, hydration and moisture are really important for skin health. So let's get into some of my favorite things that I do. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of exfoliating, like physically exfoliating. I feel like it's a really great way to get rid of any dead skin. My knees and my elbows do tend to get a little bit ashy or a little bit crusty from time to time. So in the past, I've used an exfoliating glove, which is really nice. I just recently got this like a few months ago. This is kind of similar to an African net sponge. I did get this at Target. Ultimately though, when this starts to kind of whittle down and it's not like this anymore, I do want to get something from like a small business, because this one I got from Target. But this one does the trick. I definitely love the way that it feels on my skin. At first it was a little bit aggressive, but of course as it softens over time, it's not going to be as abrasive. So I like how easy it is to transport. All you have to do is just fold it up and then roll it up. And once it gets dry, it tends to get a little bit smaller because it shrinks. But I definitely like using this on my back as well as my body. It's just very versatile, and I just really like the way that it feels on my skin. I typically do this not all the time. I would say that I use this one. This is more of like my silicone body scrubber that I got off of Amazon. I think it was previously pink. It looks a little bit orange right now, but I use this typically with some body wash just to gently exfoliate the skin and distribute the body wash. So I use that, and then on days like typically in the evening, I alternate. I exfoliate with the sponge right here, and I also use it on my back. I tend to struggle with back knee because I have very, very oily skin, but yes, as you can see, I have lots of armpit hair because I've been growing out my armpit hair for like over a month just for this day so I can wax it. But yes, I like to exfoliate with this with a body wash. And also during the winter or times where I know that I'm really going to be more like exposing my skin and I want it to look really, really cute and really moisturized, I love going in with this one. This is the L'Occitane Huile de Douche. I don't speak French, so I do apologize if that was just a little bit atrocious, if you will. But this is the almond shower oil. This has honestly been one of my favorite additions to my shower routine. I don't normally use this. I actually got this for my birthday. I always get L'Occitane around my birthday because that's just a tradition for me. But I absolutely... Oh, nothing broke. I hope not. But anyways, absolutely love... Sorry, like a bot just contacted me. But anyways, I love using this. I absolutely love the way that it feels. It's very lightweight. It doesn't leave your skin feeling greasy, but your skin still feels very moisturized. So the way that it works is that it's a shower oil, so it still has that oily moisturizing feel, but I guess in the process of like saponification, it starts to suds up. It doesn't have the biggest lather, but it still feels like a nice sort of soapy lathery feel, and then it leaves your skin feeling really nice and soft. So I definitely like using this on days where I know my skin's going to be exposed, or you know, when the weather is feeling a little bit more cold. Now, one thing I will say is sometimes my feet do get a little bit dry. Like I walk everywhere, so I feel like my feet just really reap the repercussions of walking everywhere and being on my feet all the time. So I will say that my feet do get a little bit dry, okay? A little bit like the Sahara Desert. So what I like to do is I like to use exfoliating products, not only just the physical aspect of exfoliating, but also the chemical aspect of it too. I feel like a lot of people get really scared when they hear the word chemical because there's this, like, I don't know, green washing or just like propaganda that people throw around that chemical always means bad. Chemical really just refers to the way in which it exfoliates. It exfoliates on the cellular level. So I like to use things like retinol. This is the retinol serum from the Inky List, which I actually really enjoy. I really enjoy this product. I used it on my stretch marks a few years ago because I gained like a decent amount of weight over time. So I was having a lot of stretch marks around my thighs as well as my stomach. So I really liked using this because it faded my stretch marks pretty decently. Like I will say, with consistent use, I've definitely seen like a huge difference in the appearance of my stretch marks. So I absolutely love this, and I like using this on my feet as well as areas of my body that are a little bit dry. Sometimes I mix it with my facial moisturizer and I use it on days when I want to use my retinol, and if I have any left over, I just put any of that on my elbows. I feel like that's why my elbows don't ever get super ashy, because any moisturizer I have left that's I don't need for my face and my neck, I just use it on my elbows. So that's why you'll never catch me with ashy elbows ever. Like, look how smooth those are. Like, you can't even tell that they've been dry ever in their lives. Another thing, okay, so this is a lotion I've been getting into recently. This is the EOS Shea Better 24-Hour Moisture Body Lotion. I can't really speak too much on its moisturizing properties. I will say that this smells really good, and it kind of, I don't know, it zhuzhes up your self-care routine. Sometimes it's nice to indulge in nice things for your body. Speaking of indulgence, I also got the matching hand lotion. I just used this on my feet recently because they have been feeling a little bit dry, but I absolutely love the almond scent that they have at L'Occitane. It smells so good. I don't know, like, I don't even know how to describe almond. It's like fresh, but like a fresh vanilla, if you will. Like, I wouldn't say that it's vanilla to its core, but it does have like notes of vanilla. I don't know how to describe it in a way that's more eloquent. But yeah, that's how I keep my body real smooth and real cute. So hopefully y'all can learn from my body care routine, because I'm really into this stuff. Like, as you can see, I love having a whole full-on routine. I just like feeling a little bit bougie, you know, like it's the little things. All right, so the moment we've all been waiting for, waxing my armpits. The moment I've personally been waiting for, honestly, because I grow out my armpit hair, especially in the winter, for like months, almost like a little bit too long if you ask me. But honestly, I really had no reason to like have my armpits out, obviously, because I've been wearing sweaters for like 2 seasons already. Like, I was trying to calculate the months, but I think almost like 6 months, if you will. So basically, I got this wax kit over on Amazon. I think I might up the temperature a little bit. I usually leave it at about 180, give or take. But this is it. And then I put my wax beads. I know that there are specific wax beads that are, you know, better suited for thicker hair or even finer hair. But I personally don't really have a preference. I just like to get multi-packs so that I'm stocked up for a few months. So I like to go in with my sponge and just really exfoliate the area so I don't make myself more prone to ingrown hairs. So let me just test out the wax and see how it's doing. Typically when you wax, you want it to be a little bit runny, but you don't want it to be liquidy. Like, a little run is fine, but you don't want it to be super liquidy or too hard either. I think this is honestly like the perfect texture. Some of the things that I do in order to prep is grab a few things like, well, this is the clean pre-wax oil. This is from the brand Max Flat. I don't really use this. I feel like I don't really see like as much of a difference if I do or don't use this. So as you can see, I don't really use this as much. One of my favorite things though is the Calm After Wax oil. This is just to ensure that the wax doesn't stay on your armpit or on the skin, and you are able to remove it very easily. One of my favorite things that I will say is following up with a cooling aloe vera. This is a great way to soothe any sort of irritation and prevent your skin from drying out. I know me personally, when I've exfoliated before and I haven't moisturized sufficiently afterwards, my skin gets really, really dry because, again, at the end of the day, you're exfoliating your skin. You're ripping layers of skin. Obviously, you want to be very gentle and very cautious with it, but you definitely want to follow up with hydrating and moisturizing your skin so it doesn't get further irritated. Also, a rule of thumb for me is when I'm waxing my armpits, if I don't get it in about like 2 passes, 3 at most, depending on how my skin is feeling, I'm just gonna stop. I'm really gonna stop because there's no use in over exfoliating my skin and over irritating it, because then you just run the risk of having really like red raw feeling skin. You definitely do not want that, especially around your eyebrows. The reason I say that is because I did that one time with my eyebrows and it hurt so much the next day. So I also wanted to take this time to emphasize the importance of cleanliness and sanitizing your materials. That is if you don't sanitize your materials, that is like a surefire way to an infection or inflammation after getting your wax done, because at the end of the day you are opening up the follicle, not the follicle, but obviously your pores are open, they are vulnerable, so you don't want to expose yourself to any unnecessary bacteria. So for example, I have this tweezer right here. I like to use it every now and then just to get the finer hairs that I might miss. So I like to just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a tissue and just clean it down. I also like to do that when I'm prepping my skin as well. Just take a little bit. You don't need to do too much because obviously that will dry out the skin, but just as like antiseptic precautions, if you will. So I have a little bit of rubbing alcohol here, and I'm just going to rub it in the direction that my hair grows. I do 2 different passes. Well, I do 3 actually, but let me slow down for a little bit. So I usually just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol just to get rid of any excess oils. Using the rubbing alcohol not only helps to disinfect the area, but it also helps to dry it out a little bit so that you are working on a dry surface. Waxes tend to do a lot better when you're working with a dry surface, so that's why I like to do that beforehand. And speaking of dry surfaces, I'm gonna actually like dry this out a little bit. I'm like using a fan. So speaking of dry, one of the best ways to make sure that your wax, like you're really maximizing the effects of your wax, is by going in with something like baby powder. So this is a baby powder that I've had for quite some time. I'm like, when does this expire? I actually don't know. We'll see. Like, let me actually turn it around. Okay. But anyways, I take a little bit of baby powder, and I have an old beauty blender that I don't really use anymore. So I'm going to take that and I just pat the area that I'm going to wax with just a little bit of baby powder. I found that if you overdo it, it won't adhere as well, but this really makes sure that your wax is adhering to your hair. As you can see, I have a decent amount of wax, and I have to lock in a little bit, guys, so my bad. But all you do is just do an even swoop and then bring it back up. I like to do just one more pass, but what you really want to do is form that lip down below. As you can see, I'm really sectioning a lot of that wax to the end over there, and this just makes it really easy for the wax to rip off later when it dries down. But this is honestly my favorite part. It hurts a little bit, but I will say, as somebody who's been waxing consistently for almost 2 years now, I will say that my hair does not grow in as fast. Like, this is 2 months of growth. I'm going to show you right now because like this is my other side, but this is nearly 2 months of growth. Honestly, this is the kind of growth that I would have gotten like maybe at week 3 if I had just shaved, but I find that I really don't see a whole lot of growth in my armpits until about maybe week 2.5. Week 2.5 is when I start to see more hair come in, but you really don't see the full effects of your hair going in until week 4. I've also noticed that my hair is a lot thinner, so I'm a huge advocate for waxing. It's good, so I'm going to flick up the lip right here. It's good to evenly distribute the wax so it doesn't break. Sometimes it will, but it, like, you don't need to freak out if it does, but if you can evenly distribute it, the better. All right, so I'm going to rip it. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, that was pretty good. I will say that we missed a few hairs, but this is what we're working with right now. All right, so it's been about 2 hours and I've waxed pretty much everything from my eyebrows to my armpits to even my bikini area. I will say that waxing my bikini area went a lot faster than I anticipated, but I don't think I got as clean of a wax. I feel like obviously if I went to a professional it would have been a little bit different, but I am very much a DIY girly. Like, I wish that y'all, actually I'm gonna show y'all the setup that I have over here, but I'm about to do my nails. Typically, even just like a regular set with builder gel takes me about 3 hours because it's like prep, filing, it's a whole thing. So I'm already anticipating that I'm going to be up for quite some time. But yeah, so I'm about to do my nails right now, and I feel like I definitely wanted to give y'all some tips on how to kind of DIY your beauty experiences, because I feel like DIY is very central to my beauty experience, because that's how I learned how to do my makeup, that's how I learned how to do my hair. You know, I learned a lot of the information that I know now from the internet. So with nails specifically, I've always had a passion for doing nails because, like, I don't know, even now that I have like a salaried position, I just feel like spending, and this is not to undermine the work and the expertise of nail technicians and whatnot, but I just can't really fathom spending that much on nails right now. I feel like eventually, though, I really do want to go back to this one nail tech that I went to over the summer. She was so sweet. Her name is Nails by Tiff Lynn. Literally, she was so sweet. Like, she's a really good conversationalist, which is really nice because I sometimes struggle with that as well. But she was really nice. She actually gave me a lot of the stuff that I have right here. I'm gonna show y'all later, but she taught me a lot of really good things about how to do your nails and whatnot. It's not in my budget right now to really like get my nails done by somebody else. I know it's like a lot less time consuming, but for me personally, I've always done my own nails, even for prom in high school, even for my own birthday, you know. And I will admit that my nails could definitely be a lot better, but I'm working on my skills. I just recently started doing builder gel, so that's been really exciting. It's been a little bit tricky because sometimes the builder gel tends to peel off, which is really frustrating, but I feel like it's just really good to learn and really good to know how to do these things. Now I will say that there's been a lot of error along the way from doing like acrylic to doing gel. Take it from me, always do your research before getting into something like that, because at the end of the day, nail technicians charge a lot because that's a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge that they know when it comes to handling these chemicals, especially with gel. And what I will say when it comes to doing your own nails, prep is so important. Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, what glue do you use? What's the best glue to hold your nails down? But really, like, the best glue to hold your nails down is good prep and good aftercare. Obviously, the way that you apply your nails and the way that you do the polish is really important, but nothing is more important than the actual prep itself and how you take care of your nails afterwards. Because if you're running your hands through water, you're soaking them in water, you're basically asking for the nail polish and you're basically asking for your nails to pop off a lot sooner than 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks is a pretty good mark for, like, I'd say most nails. My nails, the longest they've lasted me was about 3 weeks, but I feel like for me personally, I just get really tired of nails after week 2, so I'm like, ugh. This week, I'm doing a very special design because I really wanted to do something different for my cousin's bachelorette, but prep is super important. Always make sure that you are, you know, buffing down the nail so that you are getting rid of any of like the top layer. Really doing, like, I cannot emphasize how important nail prep is, from the actual tips themselves to your actual nail beds. That is very important because that is literally the base for your entire nail app. But this is all the stuff. As you can see, I have a bunch of colors that I'm experimenting with today, and I have both a matte and just like a regular top gel. And I have a bunch of these brushes over here. As you can see, like, I have a whole setup, guys. Like, literally, I do not play around when it comes to my nail stuff. Yeah, doing your research beforehand is also really important too. Again, like I mentioned earlier, gel is very readily available to a lot of people these days, and if you touch gel with your hands, you could potentially get contact dermatitis, which is actually what happened to me. So I have to be very careful now with how I do my nails, because even if a little bit of gel polish touches my nails, I'm like, oh, I have to take it off with acetone, which is what I have right over here. This is one of my top products that I would recommend to have on hand whenever it comes to doing your nails. This is really great, especially if you want to work with gel, because it's just important that the gel does not touch your skin. Even after I do my nails, I like to go in with a cotton pad and just rub my hands down with some acetone, simply because You just never know sometimes. But as you can see, we have a bunch of things here. I like to organize it based off of products. So this is my Don Julio, just kidding, recession core, but literally that is my water bottle. Oh, also something I did want to mention too, another thing is always mask up, especially if you are working with acrylic. It's really important to make sure that you are masking up and you are in a well ventilated room. I have an air purifier right here. I have an air purifier right over here, so I like to use that to make sure that the air is good quality and whatnot, especially with spring coming up because I have really bad allergies. But always mask up, and if you are working with acrylic especially, always have the fan that kind of catches the dust, because again, that's acrylic, and if you ingest it or if you like take it in over time, that can really affect your lungs. And wear gloves too, guys. I cannot emphasize how important it is to not only prep well, but also make sure that you're protecting yourself. I absolutely love to thrift, guys. Actually, for this entire vacation, I thrifted a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, there are some things that I don't necessarily thrift, such as like underwear and maybe bikinis and whatnot, because I'm a size 10 to 12, right? So I'm a size 10 to 12, so I really struggle with finding certain things, but I'd like to say I'm an intermediate thrifter, okay? I'd like to think that I know a thing or two about thrifting. So I have been thrifting for a hot minute. I feel like a lot of the YouTubers back in the day really ignited my interest in thrifting, but also from like an ecological standpoint, thrifting is just so good for the earth, because obviously you're not creating as much waste as you would if you were to buy from a fast fashion brand. There are a lot of I would say that there are some critiques when it comes to buying online and thrifting, but again, it would be a lot better in comparison to actually buying from a fast fashion brand. So let's get into some things. So again, I've been thrifting for a hot minute. I'm a second born, so I feel like I've always been thrifting my entire life, but I would say I really started when I was in high school, because that's when I had more of like kind of a disposable income, because that's when I started working. So the first online thrifting app that I really got into, or the first two at least, were Poshmark and ThredUp. So those are the two, Poshmark and Depop are two popular thrifting apps that I tend to toggle between. I'd say the other apps that I tend to use are like eBay. Obviously eBay is kind of like the OG thrifting app. eBay, maybe even Facebook Marketplace. I don't really buy clothes there, it's a lot of like furniture, but Facebook Marketplace as well as ThredUp. Those are other platforms that I like to use, but I'd say Poshmark and Depop are really some of my vetted sources. Now, there is a major difference between Poshmark and Depop. Depop is really catered to like the Gen Z thrifters, Gen Z millennial thrifters who kind of know what they're getting into. And what I don't really like is how gentrified it feels. Like there are so many overpriced items on Depop that I'm like, okay, listen, like I get that it's Y2K dead stock, but baby girl, like I am not paying more than $25 for a thrifted top, because then what the fuck is the point of me getting a thrifted top if it's not going to be affordable? You know what I mean? The only way that I would pay an exorbitant amount of money for something is if it's like archival, like for example Roberto Cavalli. I love Roberto Cavalli, that's actually one of my favorite designers. Like archival Roberto Cavalli or Mugler, or you know, something like that, where it's like, okay, I don't mind doling out a little bit extra money. But if it's just like a random ass brand, I'm like, ugh. And that's another thing why I like to thrift, specifically on apps like Poshmark and Depop, because you get to negotiate the prices. Sometimes depending on the seller, like you can't necessarily do that, but I do like that I was able to negotiate lower prices for a lot of the things that I did thrift. But I like Depop because I feel like people tend to, and again, like it kind of varies depending on the seller, but they do tend to post a lot trendier items. The people who manage the app at Depop, I think, have a really good sense of their audience and what they want. I think Depop is very specialized and very specific, so you're able to find things like Y2K tops or grunge or coquette, things like that. So it's very catered to a Gen Z millennial thrifter who has a very specific vision in mind. My only gripe with Depop is like, sometimes the fees kind of really get in the way of purchasing something, as well as just the way that people tend to just post, like, overprice certain items. Like, somebody will post something on Shein, like somebody will post something from Shein and pose it as like something that they're going to thrift, or something that has been thrifted or pre-used, pre-loved, and it's like $30. Like, bitch, why am I paying a bajillion dollars for a piece of plastic? You know, like, it doesn't really make sense to me. So for me, I think that would be like a huge issue that I have with Depop. But otherwise, I still do like to use it. I do tend to, I actually haven't been shopping for about 3 weeks, which I'd say is like a pretty good thing for me, because I do have a bit of a shopping problem. I will say, like, that's one of my vices, is I love shopping. But for this vacation, I definitely really wanted to thrift a lot of the items that I got, because I just am somebody who prefers to thrift. I feel like if you find something online, there's a really high chance that you can find it thrifted, if not even better. There are some true gems that I've thrifted that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that I got this secondhand. Like, also, I wanted to show y'all my nails that I did. Okay, so in my previous part of the vlog, I did my nails, and I literally stayed up until like 2-3 a.m. in order to do them. But look at how cute they are, guys. Like, so adorable. Literally, like, okay, so this side over here I did first. There was a little bit of an error, I will say. Like, this nail over here is a little bit wonky because it's kind of giving like a duck flare sort of situation, but I absolutely love the design. I experimented with a lot of matte top gel. So this one is the first nail that I think I did, and originally it was supposed to be an ombre, but I ended up adding like a hibiscus flower so that it doesn't look so weird and kind of like candy corn. And then this one, I did a similar vibe by using eyeshadow and matte top gel, and then I ultimately did a glossy top coat, so it looks a lot like watercolor. This one this one right over here, no, I'm kidding. This one over here is the middle finger, and I actually, why is it so, okay, but this one is the middle finger over here. I like this one. She's cute. It's just a pale yellow with like a pink dots design. And then this one is a French tip. Both of these are French tip. Like, that's like the that's the design that I have right over here. It's a white French tip with pink flowers. And then this one is very similar to the middle finger, but it has just like a pale pink base and a yellow dot motif. I know it's kind of hard to see, but like, maybe I'll insert a picture. This one I actually really like. I feel like this one, because this is the one that I did second, I got a bit more of a hang of like the design process. So the thumb is just going to be pale yellow with hot pink flowers. The pointer finger, this one is actually really cute, but it is a white French tip, and then I did sort of a corally pink hibiscus flower. The middle finger has a very similar design to this one right over here, but I put a matte top coat instead, and then just did yellow dots on top. So I actually really like this design, and I feel like I'm going to do something very similar in the future. And then this one, my ring finger is just a regular French tip, but I put pink dots on it. And then the last one, I kind of freestyled again with this one and just did a tequila sunrise ombre. But I absolutely love the way that these came out. I've been experimenting with a lot of builder gel lately, so I feel like, you know, it's come out, it turned out really, really cute, and I love the design. Like, I feel like this is the most creative I've ever been with my nails, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should do more nail designs instead of just like a solid color or like a French tip, because I'm very basic when it comes to my nails. Honestly, I'm really proud of the design. I like look at my nails all the time and I'm like, damn, I really did that, guys. This took me like 4 to 5 hours, but hey, they're real cute. Good morning, everyone. I guess it is March 20th. Yeah, it's March 20th. It's like 2 a.m. The reason why I'm up, I can't even explain to y'all. Originally, I was supposed to come home pretty early last night, but I ended up coming back late because I had to run a couple of errands. And then when I came back home, I realized I was like really fucking tired. And I also had a bit of a big headache too. I don't know, I think it's because I was looking at screens all day. There's still so many things I need to do. Like, I'm not even fully packed. So let's finally get ready for this vacation. I am like so ready for just full on 8 hours of sleep. I feel like I haven't been able to get a decent full 8 hours of sleep in like the past 2 weeks. So I'm feeling a little bit delirious. I'm gonna do my nails because I don't want to. I got sandals last night. Okay, I got sandals and my dogs are gonna be out. Like, I can't embarrass myself, you know what I mean? So this is like the thing about being a DIY girly, is like you do everything yourself, and so sometimes it can be very time consuming. But hopefully with my toenails it shouldn't take that long. I'm thinking of doing gel polish on my nails and we'll see how that goes. I also still have to shave, but I'll do that later tonight when I come home. All right, let's get this. It's almost like 3:20. But this right here is the setup. Okay, don't look at my face. But yeah, I'm just doing my nails. For my toes specifically, I'm doing a very just simple pink color, like a pink opaque color with just like a little bit of builder gel so that it lasts really long. My toenails, they tend to be pretty fragile. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just because, like, I don't know, they don't get a lot of love. But just a little bit of builder gel and then some pink gel polish. It's like this really cute, sorry, I literally, it's my UV light. But it's this cute bubblegum pink color. And yeah, it is currently 6:20 right now. I'm like literally packing a whole bunch of skincare right now. So I just finished up with packing all of my hair care items. So it has my dry shampoo, conditioner, hair oils, and styling products. I have my iPad. I created a list of all the things that I need so that it's just really easy for me to do. As you can see, I'm knocking some stuff out, but I do have like a long way to go. But let me see. Okay, so just packed my moisturizer. Okay, I don't think I need my toner. I think I'll be fine. Like on vacation, I have this tendency to bring my entire existence with me, and I realize I'm like, oh, I actually don't need to bring everything I own with me. Like, I think I can live at least a few days without toner. But I wish, let me see if I can show y'all my desk. But my desk is like, it is a whole mess because I literally have to put things in mini containers. So it is currently 7:08. But I really wanted to do a very quick clothing haul just to show everybody all the things that I got. This isn't like everything, but like, because I also got additional jewelry. So if I were you, I would definitely go ahead and check out my TikTok as well as my Instagram, because there you'll be able to see a little bit more of me aside from in this vlog. So the first thing that I got is this yellow tank top, because again, it is Tequila Sunrise, so it's a little bit small on me, but it does have some padding on the inside, which is really nice. And I love this color. I feel like this color is really big this spring. So I actually initially wanted to get this matching set from Abercrombie, but it was giving like $100 for an entire set. So I literally scoured Depop and scoured Poshmark and ultimately was able to find you know, a good sort of dupe, if you will. My thing is if you find something online, there's a really good chance that you can find it thrifted. So that's always my sort of rule of thumb. And I was going to pair it with this yellow skirt. So it's a slightly darker yellow, but I think it's still a pretty good match. A pretty decent match. I don't mind if the colors aren't like 100% identical. But this is a J. Crew sort of sweatsuit material skirt, and it's very chill. Another thing that I got is this tube top. It has a very light, almost cotton-like material. Let me see what the makeup is. Yes, it actually is 100% cotton, but literally this is so cute. It has a slight peplum at the bottom and then a bow, and then I really like this braided sort of part, this braided hem at the top. I'm not sure if this is called a hem, but like, you know, the end part of the fabric. But this is still really cute. I feel like I'm gonna wear that on my first night there to dinner. This thing I got actually last year, but it's still thrifted. This is a vintage BB top. And I feel like the silhouette was really popular in the 2000s, but as you can see, it's like a deep v-neck and then it slouches on both sides. It scrunches up at the bottom. It's really, really cute. I've actually worn this before, but I don't really wear it too often because it does have a deeper v, so can't really wear it to work. Speaking of pink, I also got this Y2K pink, almost like baby tee. Another skirt that I got, I thrifted this I think 2 years ago. Yeah, I think I thrifted this 2 years ago, and when I saw it on the rack, I knew that I was in for a really, really good skirt. So I've actually worn this before, but I absolutely love the colors and the sort of handkerchief detail on it. It also has like slight beading on it too, but I just love the colors. I feel like this is just such a summery vibe, and a lot of the colors go really well with the theme of, you know, tequila sunrise. Another good thing that I got was this skirt. It has that similar lacy waistline. And another dress that I got, this is actually one of my favorite dresses that I got. So this is a Ralph Lauren dress, and I love this string detail over here. It has these really cute like pink and gold beads. No, I'm like covering it, but it has a ruffled hemline as well as a neckline, and then it opens up a little bit here, so it is a little bit sexy, a little bit risque. This is what the luggage is looking like. Surprisingly, it's not overflowing like condensed all of my stuff into the base travel bag. I definitely love that bag. That's actually one of my favorite travel bags. I have to head out very, very soon because again, I have work, but I'm gonna close out my luggage, say farewell, not farewell, but see you later to my apartment, and I'll catch y'all later. So I do have to head out, but I'll do a little outro in just a little bit once everything is packed up. Okay, bye.
La próxima vez en Despedida de Soltera.
Speaking of all that, I got my period. That's fun. Bitch, I'm all time to get my period. Like,